This farmer who voted for her, who voted for Trump, who still supports them, doesn't believe that they would round up immigrants because it's an open secret that farms in this state are held up by undocumented workers.
How are they going to do that? Within 2 days, we will not have food. There will not be food anywhere.
Now look at yourself looking stupid on camera. What do you mean you didn't think he would go through with it? Why would you vote for something you don't believe would happen? No, you just wished it wouldn't affect you. But it will. Oh, within 2 days you won't have any food and you didn't think of that in a voting booth? This just proves that Americans voted against and not for. And how are they going to do that? By showing up in hospitals, daycares, schools, churches. This man reminds me of the fishermen who voted for the Brexit and then started crying when they lost their market. He hates his employees deeply. He said it with his whole chest and didn't even realize it. Oh, they're looking...
Who do tariffs hurt? Farmers. And what do farmers need to grow their crops? Potash. And where do American farmers get potash from? Canada. And who did you said provide subsidies for? American farmers. Why do they want to bankrupt farmers? To buy up all the land for cheap and control the food supply. Elon wants to know what it's like to hump a pink pig this time. Why are all these unqualified people in these very important government positions? Because morons make mistakes. And they're kind of counting on that. Why all the cuts to education? Because you can still pack a cardboard box without arithmetic. Why are they outlawing abortion? Baby slaves. You think they want you to be educated? ChatGPT already has a PhD in everything. Americans, your government is trying to destroy your economy on purpose. So get those elbows up, baby. That goes for you too, Mini-Me. Can someone get that kid a helmet?
Hi guys, welcome back again to my channel. It's so good to have you. Thank you so much for clicking when you saw this video. So in today's video, farmers are actually finding out that they made a huge mistake the day that they stepped into the polling unit and voted against their own self and their own interest against their farm, because what we're seeing right now is actually them using their hand to say, you know what, we don't need our farms anymore. Okay, the tariffs has gone up. Everything that is currently happening to them, they are not able to, buy their produce anymore because they voted against their own interests. Anyway, I've gathered some few clips for you guys and I'm going to share it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments, and please do well to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it, and credit to all creators on this video. Let's go watch out some of these clips I've got and we will come back and talk more. Please don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Let's go watch.
I have a question for the rest of America. Does anyone even care about Nebraska? Does anyone even care?
I cared about Nebraska back on November 5th, just like I cared about all states. So I went into the voting booth and I voted in the best interest of all Americans. But clearly, Nebraska didn't care about all Americans, nor did Nebraska care about Nebraska. If Nebraska cared about Nebraska, then 60% of voters who voted in Nebraska wouldn't have voted for Donald Trump. They would have voted for Kamala Harris. If the voters in District 1 out in Nebraska and the voters in District 3 out in Nebraska would have cared about Nebraska, then they would have voted for Kamala Harris and not for Donald Trump. I can't care about Nebraska now when Nebraska didn't even care about Nebraska then. For those of you all who don't know, Nebraska is slated to go bankrupt in the next couple of months. In addition to that, all of the farmers out in Nebraska who voted for Donald Trump, they've lost all of their workers because their workers were migrants, probably illegal immigrants who were working their farms. And so all of those workers have left the state. So it is my opinion, instead of asking other Americans if they care about Nebraska, you should be asking Nebraska why they didn't care about Nebraska.
This is correct. One of the terrible consequences of Trump's trade war with China in imposing all those tariffs on China, China imposed tariffs back, which means U.S. farmers had a harder time exporting their crops, and bankruptcies of farms rose 20% under Trump's administration. some occasional strategic tariffs against specific countries in specific industries in order to protect growing American industries. For example, supercomputers. Those tariffs can make sense sometimes, but universal tariffs or just starting trade wars across the board, so foolish, so dangerous.
Now that the tariff have hit, okay, it has hit so hard on both farmers and everybody. Because if you give tariffs to other country who supply you potash and supply the the required produce you need to plant your goods and get your plants out there, if you place tariffs on them, the farmers will be the ones suffering it because they're going to be buying it higher than expected. Okay, they will be the one. If they import those goods, they're going to be paying a lot of tariff. It is on them. Now, this other country has also placed their own tariff. I don't think Canada have even lifted theirs because I know TP lifted his and said he was giving them 30-day ultimatum, something like that. And now, I don't think Canada has done theirs. I don't think they've done it. So if you import potash from Canada and their tariff is already there, who is going to be paying for it? Farmers didn't take time to really do their homework. Do you get? They didn't take time to do their assignment. Are something that you understand. Really what tariffs are, right? And how this is what is going to impact them before they went on the polling unit on the 5th of November, and now they are the ones suffering it. Aside that, the whole mass deportation that happened, their workers are also affected, especially people in Nebraska, in Florida. It's as if they all voted against their own workers. Like they didn't care about their workforce, they didn't care about the people who they employ in their farms, and they didn't care so much about their farm. When this other lady was asking if anybody do really care about Nebraska, that's the question should be to your farmers. You should be directed directly to the farmers in Nebraska because it's as if everybody in Nebraska are farmers. Mostly, the majorities are farmers, and they have lots of undocumented immigrants in Nebraska. 60% of their workforce are voted for this present administration. 60% of Nebraska, and 65% of their workforce are undocumented, living there, working in their farms, and they didn't care about them. Because if you do care about them, I trust you would have really think deeper before voting the way you did. And now your farm is being affected. Bigger corporations might have to come in to take over those farmland and get to plant, make their money, pay you peanuts to take over a farmland that your forefathers left for you. That's something to really think about deeply before. I don't know. That's something you would have thought so deeply about before voting the way you did. And now you are the ones going through this stuff. And now you want sympathy from people. You want sympathy from people that wanted you to have the best. But instead of you having the best or thinking about having the best, you decided to vote against your own self. Now you're looking for sympathy from these same people who you never cared about or cared about all they were telling you about all this while. Now you guys, if they still place those people that contested during the election, we already know who you're going to be choosing. Guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Let's have that conversation in the comment section. What do you think about this farmers for Trump and all the tariff thing that is currently happening? Let me know what you think in the comments, and please do well to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up so that more people can see it. I look forward to see you guys all by next video. Bye guys.